Two of India's biggest corporate empires just placed a bet so massive. It's literally bigger than both of them combined. And most people have no idea what's actually being built. Here's the setup. Reliance Industries, worth roughly $110 billion. Adani Group, around $100 billion. Together, they've committed a combined $210 billion over the next 7 to 10 years. Not to launch a rocket, not to buy a football club, to build the physical backbone of India's AI future. Data centers and renewable energy infrastructure at a scale this country has genuinely never attempted before. Now, what does that actually mean on the ground? Think of a data center like a giant digital warehouse. It's where AI models get trained, where your cloud files live, where every ChatGPT query and Google search gets processed in milliseconds. These warehouses don't run on good intentions. They run on staggering amounts of electricity. And this is where it gets really interesting. Right now, India's data centers consume somewhere between 10 and 15 terawatt hours of power every single year by 2030, just 6 years away. That number is projected to explode to 40 to 45 terawatt hours. That's a 3x to 4x surge. To put that in perspective, you'd essentially be adding the entire annual power consumption of a mid-sized country from scratch. And here's what nobody's talking about loudly enough. Every single data center that gets built needs transformers, switchgear, high voltage cables, fiber optic networks, industrial cooling units. All of that before one server even gets switched on. That's a guaranteed, multi-year order pipeline quietly landing in India's industrial sector. Reliance and Adani aren't just building data centers. They're triggering a full construction supercycle. Across power, cables, and real estate. And the companies supplying those building blocks, they're sitting on a gold mine. Sound familiar? It should. This is exactly how infrastructure booms have always created wealth. Just one layer below the headline. So who exactly are those companies? And which ones are already winning contracts before most investors have even noticed? That's exactly what we're getting into next. So we know the big names racing to build. But here's the smarter question. Who's actually making money right now? No matter who wins. Let's go back to 1849, the California gold rush. Thousands of miners sprinted west chasing gold. Most of them went completely broke. But the guys selling shovels, like picks and denim jeans, they made fortunes. Every single time. That's the picks and shovels play, and it maps perfectly onto India's AI infrastructure boom right now. You don't need to bet on whether Reliance or Adani wins the data center war. Because whoever builds, they all need the exact same things. Power equipment, cables, and cooling systems. The shovel sellers of this era are hiding in plain sight. Think Siemens India, ABB India, Hitachi Energy. Every data center needs transformers, which step electrical voltage up or down, and switchgear, which controls and protects electrical circuits. Their order books are essentially pre-filled by every gigawatt being announced. Then you've got Polycab and KEI Industries on the cabling side, and Tata Communications running the fiber optic backbone that carries actual data traffic. And don't sleep on cooling. Blue Star and Voltas. Servers generate insane heat. No industrial grade cooling, the whole thing fails. These companies are non-negotiable suppliers. Now here's where it gets interesting for investors. Capital goods, power, and infrastructure stocks are getting seriously re-rated right now. Meaning institutional money and your neighbor's SIP, that monthly mutual fund contribution, are all flowing into these industrial names. Infrastructure-themed mutual funds are watching their NAV, the per unit price of the fund, climb as order books swell. Even short-term traders are riding momentum in small and mid-cap industrials. The picks and shovels narrative has officially landed in Indian markets, and serious capital is following it. But all of this infrastructure spending raises one big uncomfortable question. Where does the money actually come from? And what are the real risks hiding underneath the hype? That's exactly what we're getting into next. But here's the part most people miss. And honestly, it's the most important part. This isn't a quarterly trade. This is a decade-long structural shift. So let's talk about what that actually means for your money and your business. So think of data center, real estate like a toll road. You spend heavily upfront to build the highway. Then you collect tolls from every vehicle that passes through for the next 20 years. That's exactly what developers like Macrotech and Anant Raj are doing. They build or lease the physical space, lock in hyperscalers. Your AWS, Google Cloud, Microsoft Azure. On 10 to 15-year contracts, and from that point on, the cash just flows. Predictable, recurring. Annuity-style income that doesn't care whether the broader market is having a good quarter or a terrible one. For real estate investors used to the feast and famine cycle of selling apartments, this is a fundamentally different game, and a far more stable one. Now flip to the energy side. Renewable power purchase agreements, PPAs. Let data center operators lock in electricity prices upfront through long-term fixed-rate contracts with renewable producers. Why does that matter? Because energy is literally 40 to 60% of what it costs to run one of these facilities. Lock in your fuel cost, and you've just de-risked a massive chunk of your operating model. And here's the signal that should actually comfort bond market watchers. Since most of this $210 billion capex is being funded through equity and foreign direct investment, it isn't touching domestic borrowing at all. No pressure on government or corporate debt markets means bond yields stay range bound, which means your borrowing costs as a business owner stay predictable too. So whether you're an investor, a supplier of cables or cooling systems, or a freelancer plugged into the tech ecosystem, this build-out doesn't need AI to win. It just needs AI to keep building. And right now, it absolutely is. That's the full picture. The players, the capital, and the decade-long arc behind India's AI infrastructure push. If this breakdown was useful, you know what to do. Follow us for more updates like this. Thanks for watching. And don't forget to follow us on YouTube, Instagram, and X.